The WA are not content creators. That's the problem. They don't use video. They're analysts. So the problem is we have a social network that essentially has the ability to create video and audio content, but most of the people are that community don't create video audio content. So that's the problem. But anyway, so I'm here with Todd.
How are you?
Todd, what's for the last name again?
Parsons, that's fine.
Okay, Parsons, like Parsons Institute. And we're here looking at Buzzlogic.
Indeed.
And I'll be like Scoble pretty soon. You know, like
you are like Scoble
you know what
right
Scoble,
now.
But you know what's fair with Scoble is like, I keep on bumping into him and I have nothing to say to him. You know, it's like, ran into him at LeWeb and like, you know, like, I said hello, you know, like he knows who I am. I ran into him in the Louvre, like almost, you know. But it's like, you know, Scoble gets invited to all the cool parties that I don't get invited to.
Well, you're a rising star, though.
Yeah,
You're on your way up.
So I want to be invited to the parties that not everybody goes to, you know. And the thing is
underbelly
that,
parties.
right, like at LeWeb, but we got the La Scala one. But you know, but it's weird. It's like I was looking for the burlesque stuff that they had last year, and it wasn't there. You know, and I'm saying. Meanwhile, all the other LeWeb people were going to the LeWeb things that no, you could never. Luke wouldn't give me the information. He's here. He wouldn't give anyone the information. You kind of had to know where these parties were. Then he would say, "Well, go look on the network somewhere." That's Eric Peterson, by the way, over there.
Oh,
you know,
really?
Eric. You want to go say hello?
You know,
you want to say hello?
I would love to meet him.
I think Gary's approach is something I'm more comfortable with, and we seem to always have more easy way of communicating. Yeah. So anyway, we're here to see if the computers.
So let's kind of use that as a starting point. If you take what we're doing with Buzzlogic as a little bit of an abstraction of those engagement metrics that we've been talking about over breakfast. The idea here is to look at all the people on the web that are talking about a very specific topic, and then to understand of those people who are connected together, who's most influential, kind of the leader-follower type of analysis in a network. So I mean, this is the Buzzlogic interface, a little test space that we use, and I'm watching a conversation on iPhone and battery life.
That's a test conversation, right? So is this happening in real time, or?
Yeah, this is, you know, I mean, it's not a fast network through this unreliable Palace Hotel
It's
connection,
got two people talking together?
No, what we're doing though is we're looking at the web with our crawlers and with our feed subscriptions, and then constantly updating this conversation that's happening on just iPhone and battery life. And so what we're looking for is all of the different blogs that are participating in that conversation, and in particular, how often have those blogs written on the subject and been influential. So that's at the core of what we do. So I clicked into the conversation here, and you can see, you know, kind of some of the usual popular tech blogs up at the top here. As you go down on the tail, if you will, you see a lot of other sites that are writing often on the subject. So Gizmodo, you know, popular tech blog, but how influential are they really on iPhone and battery life? That's what we're trying to answer.
Well, that's a good question, because I read their blog, and I would think they are, but I mean, let's see how much. I mean, what would be the metrics here to show that they were or weren't influential? I mean, I see something over here. What?
Let's start really quickly with this number here, the idea that Gizmodo has written 157 times on this very narrow topic. So, you know, Gizmodo puts out a ton of content, obviously, multiple editors there, but they've written 150 times on iPhone battery life and been influential in the process of doing that. So, and we'll get to how we know that they're influential and what metrics we use in just a second. But the first thing is, how much veracity does Gizmodo have on this one subject as they write on it over time? And that's what we're trying to display. So the way that we look at how much veracity they have over time and how that's built up is by looking at each post they've written on it, on iPhone and battery life, and how much attention that post is getting, and to what degree the sites that are bringing attention to that post actually are also influential on the subject iPhone and battery life.
Well, see, I've seen mocks of this thing.
You have.
But it's a while ago. I mean, like this particular fan-out diagram.
Okay, cool.
Seems to be the one. But now, so what happens? What are these all representing? Okay, so
So what we're doing here is we're looking at all of the in-linking content that we've been able to find on iPhone and battery life that are in-linking into Gizmodo's posts. So this is the second most influential post in the whole conversation, in the whole of content we've been able to find on iPhone and battery life. And the reason is because of the quality of people who are actually linking into it and bringing their audiences to the content. So again, this is a bit of an abstraction from engagement metrics because we're less looking at how people, what they're doing once they're on the Gizmodo post, and more looking at who are the people bringing attention to that post, audiences to that post, and what's their propensity for actually being engaged with it.
What I would say, I mean, what's interesting here is, I mean, I guess you probably can't get the other side of it, what they're actually doing on the post, because you don't have their analytics, right?
That's kind of where we're going
unless you can abstract out of the ComScore Nielsen data and do like some sort of calculation to, I mean, even though it's inaccurate as it is, I mean, at least the people accept it, right, as a standard, right? I mean, you know, Monster does, so does a lot of, you're right. I mean, so everyone's agreed to accept the ComScore Nielsen data because it's defensible, even if it's wildly off.
Even if it is a panel, and even if there is an order of magnitude difference.
So if you could
reality.
get the two of those together, of course they don't define all the events that you would need, but it seems like you've got almost all of it, but you don't have the part that validates that they get the big picture that validates that when they got there they actually did, you know, the things. But it sounds like you're almost to the point where you could put these pieces together, which sounds like what you're working on.
And let me show you how we do that. So if you take this as an idea for proxying influence, for implying influence, what you can do is take it a step further, and of course, I mean, this is the map that gets used more for looking at the content which links in and doing a little bit more of the listening to the market, who's actually referring other content, how influential are they in turn on the subject, and you can see we kind of map those out here. So this is a visual aid for that. What it leads to that's more pragmatic, and we've always really focused on how do you take, you know, a set of data like this and turn it into something that's very actionable. So what we've done is, and I think this is what you were mentioning before, this idea that we connect ourselves to ad networks that actually allow us to target these sites and the content.
And that was the thing, that announcement last winter about working with AdWords, and then finding out the ads on the influential. You're setting up a demo for me, right?
Yep,
okay,
I'm gonna I'll show you. There's like one cool screen.
And send me the email so I can go get into it, but I won't put that part on here because we don't want to put all that part on.